A good reputation takes a lifetime to earn and a moment to destroy. And almost nowhere is that more evident than with the Lancia Beta. Bred from a company with this illustrious reputation for producing glamorous, exotic Italian cars and dominating the World Rally Championship for several years on the trot. And yet, because of one fatal mistake, the company, and this model in particular, are hardly remembered these days. And when they are, they're mocked and belittled for it. Deservedly so? Let's take this survivor for a drive and find out. Buoyed by its success with the Fulvia, Lancia was keen to keep up that momentum with another successor going into the 1970s as a small, exotic, stylish saloon car that ultimately could go on and win a lot more rallies. They decided that the name would continue with the theme of choosing Greek letters, but they decided against using Alfa for fear of obviously confusion with Alfa Romeo. So they went second best, Beta, or Beta if you'd rather. That would be the name of the new Lancia. What would this new Lancia be like? Well, Fiat had recently taken a majority control over Lancia and decided that its new saloon car should be cheap and cheerful. It would use as many existing Fiat parts as possible. This included its legendary twin-cam engine, various bits of switchgear and the electrics, and effectively this car would be predominantly a Fiat at heart. But keen not to be hamstrung by very limited time and budget restrictions, Lancia put it all into its new saloon car. And by 1972, the new Lancia Beta was revealed, with the coupe coming in 1973. And I think they did a cracking job with the styling. A lot of it was designed by Fiat's in-house design team, and they created something that was elegant and classy and exotic, also Italian in that Lancia way, but also very clearly not a Fiat. With the little details like some of the chrome touches and so on, it definitely looked a cut above the likes of a Fiat 1500. I think the Beta is still a gorgeous looking car. It's handsome, it's exotic, and it makes a Ford Capri look like the dowdy Cortina based creation it really is. It's a cracking looking car this, and I've had various admiring glances already just driving around in it. But the Beta's beauty was more than skin deep. Underneath, it was well engineered. Not only did it have a 5-speed manual gearbox, which was still pretty uncommon for anything below the level of a Mercedes-Benz or a Porsche at the time, but you got 4-wheel disc brakes and all-round independent suspension. This humble family saloon car had the engineering behind it that a lot of sports cars couldn't match. Not to mention, Fiat's legendary twin-cam engines, which are fantastically rorty and surprisingly pokey as well. Let's give a little bit more, shall we? Oh, such a sweetie, that engine. And you know what? It handles well too. Really nicely weighted steering. It's front-wheel drive, but it makes the most of it in that Italian way. Feels sporty and agile. Just thread it down through here on this roundabout. It feels so light on its feet and chuckable. Oh! Makes you smile at humble speeds, just like all good Italian cars should. Oh! For such a humble saloon car, which, let's not forget, was built and forced to use existing Fiat components, which themselves were already starting to age, the Beta is a great fun car to drive. Just a little, rorty and exciting, and it's chuckable and good fun. You sit low in this Spider version, but of course the coupe will be exactly the same. Properly exotic looking and feeling car. It feels special, and it was even rated highly enough to reintroduce Lancia to the United States. That's right, they exported Betas to America, and they did reasonably well out there as well, because it was something with a bit of European glamour and class and exotica factor. So you've got an exotic, stylish, glamorous, fast, peppy, fun to drive, relatively affordable Italian saloon or coupe with an unmistakable character that was good enough for America to welcome it with open arms. So what could possibly go wrong? Well, absolutely everything, as it turns out. The Beta was made with steel that Fiat had got in a deal from Russia, allegedly in exchange for building the Lada factory. Now this steel was plentiful, but it was also very cheap and very low quality. It was thin, it was poorly stored, quite often outdoors in a Russian climate, and the rust proofing on it was non-existent, to be honest. And that meant that Betas that were made using this stuff, which was pretty much all of them, rusted appallingly when they were still months out of the showroom. And we're not just talking about things like scuttle panels and front wings. The front subframe mounts were known to rot out very, very quickly on Betas, and that meant the whole front suspension and the engine were at risk of moving around and potentially even falling out. The rear chassis legs were at risk, as were the rear subframe mounts, which again in extreme circumstances could risk the whole back end of the car falling off. This wasn't just a little bit of cosmetic issue, this was genuine danger to drivers. As you can imagine, this caused a PR disaster for Lancia. Not to mention the media blew it up out of all proportions, as they very often do with any problems, to make it sound like every Beta was mere moments away from rusting in half. And as a result, Lancia were put under immense pressure by the media and by journalists to recall every single car by 1983, to buy them back from their owners, give them brand new cars and scrap the old ones. It was a nightmare, and suddenly this once mighty brand that had been synonymous with Italian glamour and class and winning multiple World Rally Championships was suddenly about the least desirable brand you could have on your driveway, and suddenly Lancia became a synonym for rust. And it's not like the brand didn't try and recover. With the might of Fiat behind it, the Series 2 cars were built out of much better quality steel that didn't come from Russia, and they were even offered with a 6-year anti-corrosion warranty, which for any car at the time was all but unheard of. They were really determined to prove that Lancias were better built and didn't rot anything like as badly as the press would have you believe. But unfortunately, as we've said, a good reputation takes a lifetime to gain and a moment to lose. And once people knew that Lancias were these rot-prone cars that could fall to pieces in a matter of months, they never really recovered from it. And that's a real shame, to be honest, because so few Lancia Betas survive in any state. The fact we're driving this Spider today and it is relatively solid is a minor miracle in itself. It looks fantastic, it's charismatic, it's exciting, it makes... Oh, that lovely noise, and it's fun to drive, and it turns heads, although probably more for its rarity than anything else. The Beta was a genuinely great car, and if not for that one mistake in the material it was made out of, it could have gone on to be another great in Lancia's back catalogue, another rally winner, another multiple million seller, another car that people are clamouring to pay tens of thousands for these days. But instead, it went the other way. The Beta ruined its own reputation and its own chances by being so rot-prone, not to mention it had the typical 70s Italian problems of not being the most reliable car in the world mechanically or electrically, and it passed on that bad reputation to the cars that followed. Say the word Lancia to most people who don't really know about these cars and they'll just snigger and say, none left, are there? And that's a shame, because these days seeing Lancia as a shell of its former self producing hideous rebadged Fiats, it makes you wonder what it could have been given a better chance. In short then, the Lancia Beta is how you kill a great reputation in one fell swoop. And these days, quite apart from a gem in a haystack, it's remembered as the gem in the scrap heap. But undeservedly so, I reckon. These are a great car, and if you can find one of the handful of survivors, particularly in Britain, snap it up, because it's an utterly memorable car. It's charming, and it makes you smile in a way that Italian cars of this era can't fail to do. But what do you think? Have you ever owned a Lancia Beta? Does it still exist? What do you think of these cars, and are you a Lancia fan? Should we feature some more on the channel? In the meantime, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Classic 12 for all our future content, and if you fancy some more 70s Italian action, particularly if you're in red, then go and watch our Fiat X19 road test. But for now, it's not raining at the moment, so I've still got a Lancia Beta to drive. Ciao!